We're wanting to know about, if gold is going parabolic. Let's just let's go to the weekly chart. He's wondering, should we put a trailing stop in? So in case it reverses, as momentum picks up and things get more volatile, should we put a trailing stop? Now, even though gold's shooting straight up, I don't really see gold as a volatile. I mean, yeah, it's got some nice momentum, but percentage wise, it's not like a stock market or a stock itself or a volatile asset. It doesn't really swing like 5 or 10% in a day. Well, knock on wood, not yet. So I'm not too worried about having a stop. And he's talking about, should we put a trailing stop in? Obviously, once you get deep in the money, you start to get really defensive, and sometimes you tighten stops too much. A trailing stop going underneath the previous days or previous week's bar, can work, but it is pretty aggressive. I prefer to give things lots of wiggle room and let it work itself out. But I would say the weekly chart, if you're a very short-term trader, and this is a trade that we're looking at, this kind of bull pennant breakout here, you could put a bar, on the previous week's low as a potential stop level if you wanted to kind of try to lock things up in case there is some big reversal sell-off bar. But at this point, I'm just letting it mature. And again, I'm not getting too honed in on the intraday charts too much here on precious metals, on how to trade that. Now, some of you have been long metals for a long time. Some of you have been holding metals longer than I think I've been alive, which is pretty cool. You guys talk about some interesting scenarios. I know some of you have mentioned that you have gold with certain companies that you're getting paid like 4% yield on it, and there's no storage fees. And I don't know fully how that works, but I know how some companies have worked, and I really don't trust that so much. To me, and I could be totally wrong here, I like to own the physical and put it in storage and have it stored somewhere so I have it. And I would rather not make interest on it, because if something crazy does happen, as we've seen, we can have these crazy moves in precious metals and you just can't get metals. Everybody's sold out. You can't get it. And my concern is, if you are earning interest on it and you don't have a storage fee, that to me means that company has taken it and they've given it away. They've lent it to somebody else and they're going to pay you interest for it. So if the brown stuff hits the fan, which is what we kind of have gold for, is like a collapse of something, yeah, you made your 4%, but are you ever going to get it back?